Mr. Lucky said that figures are there for everybody to throw around.
Yes.
And going by the Nigeria Economic Report of 2014, the economic growth rate is 7.4%, but we'll still have 33.1% poverty in Nigeria. So how do you balance this?
Thank you very much. You see, we have tried socialism as a concept in the world, vis-a-vis capitalism. And at the end of the day, we discovered, because Soviet Union no longer enjoys the kind of power and influences it enjoys, that free market economy works. Some of the challenge in a free market economy is that you must figure out by yourself how to connect to the economic circle, or where you can either work, create businesses, and all of that. Unfortunately, if a man says that the economic outlook for Nigeria indicates that we are doing, until recently, almost double-digit growth, and he says he doesn't like that statistics, then I ask him, where then does he get the empirical evidence to say that these things are not working?
On the streets.
We must listen.
On the faces of our people.
We must ensure that we are consistent. Consistency says for us that whatever it is that we're doing, metrics must measure and give us back some input. I will not sit here and tell you that every Nigerian is a wealthy man, but we must manage our optimism. If somebody doesn't study, if he doesn't figure out a way to get a living, if he doesn't want to take on farming, if he doesn't want to do things that are easy, and all they want is white-collar jobs and all of that, yes, government will do what it can, and government is. One of the things that government has done in recent times, especially under President Ebele Jonathan, is that we have done U-Win to bring graduates into the economic circle via a program that allows them to be able to access money to do some startups.
So far, how many people are on U-Win?
If you go on the internet, if you go and check their database, you will find out that in a nation of 170 million people, even when you take about 5 million people out, it seems as if you are not doing anything. Hello, you will ask, what are they doing in the areas that they control? Look, we have made sure that pension reform has happened here. We have made sure that the rail is back on track. We have made sure that infrastructure, in terms of road infrastructure, has been improved. We have made sure that in terms of agric, we have converted agric into a business where we are almost reaching self-sufficiency level in food production. We are close to being able to produce enough rice for ourselves. We have made sure that some of those big items that tells you that this nation is making progress, the only thing we have not done, which probably what they want us to do, is to begin to run a haphazard, not clearly thought out, in your face, bully tactics that they think is necessary. But I tell you this, in the long run, systematic, continuous, consistent development is what delivers growth for a nation.
Do you think all of this,
Yes.
that you said, the elections they are almost here,
Yes.
do you think they will translate into any vote for this present government, considering the fact that 33.1% Nigerians are still on the poverty line?
Those 33.1% Nigerians that you throw in front of me as statistics, they do not reside in Abuja. Those 33.1% that you're talking about are captured in 774 local government, are captured in 36 states and federal capital. Of that percentage, you can know what part belongs to the spheres that opposition is managing. And I tell you, in terms of asking the strong questions, what are the issues that Nigerians must figure and think about and keep from their residual knowledge to guarantee and tell them where they should vote? One of them is this. In 1933, sometimes around September, under a convoluted disguise of bringing change, a fascist regime was enthroned in Germany. The world has not fully recovered from the consequences. Some things cannot be taken lightly. You cannot be in a civilian democracy and keep insisting that only former military men can lead.
Okay.
You cannot be in a civilian democracy and keep saying that the best that they can produce is a 73-year-old man, when indeed and in fact, the larger section of society is very
Okay,
low.
You
cannot say that in participatory democracy, where a nation is meant to make progress, that one character in the person of their presidential candidate must be a presidential candidate for all times. Presidential candidate in 1999, presidential candidate in 2003,
it's in a desire, I guess. Let's hear from Mr. Lake.
Mr. Showme, anybody can desire.
Anyone can desire to be what you are
This is quite funny, and my brother is see, I'm very happy you've said that it is a legitimate desire, to contest as many times as you like, or as you want, or as the atmosphere permits, as long as you have your wits about you. And in spite of the age that they are banding around, we are yet to see what the youthfulness of what is there now, or who is there now, has done, what salutary effect that youthfulness has had on the Nigerian economy, on the Nigerian security situation, on the Nigerian infrastructural situation, on the Nigerian employment situation. Now, these are the real focal issues that concern the average Nigerian for this coming election.
When you talk about employment, he mentioned about job opportunities being created through
That's
Nigerians.
What I said, that they throw statistics that have no bearing to the realities on the street.
Are you saying nobody won this?
Let me tell you, I haven't seen
there are no winners?
Them. They are on paper. Now, number one is this. What more eloquent testimony do you need or require than what happened in Abuja? The scam for interview thing, where you had a whole stadium filled with job seekers, youths looking for jobs that were scammed of money. They were asked to pay. How much insensitive can an administration be? These are unemployed graduates looking for work for years, and they were asked to pay money to obtain forms. They paid through the nose, and they got to the stadium in the stampede. Several of them died. Now, an insensitive administration up till today that we are speaking has not called any official to question or reprimand any single official. Today, 400,000 barrels of oil get missing every day from the Nigerian waters. And we have a gamut of all the security agencies. In fact, we have extra security agent or paramilitary in the form of some private agencies manned by some private individuals performing the job of the Nigerian Navy. In spite of all of this, there is a very abysmal increase in the number of barrels of oil that get missing on a daily basis. Now, if you know how much a barrel of oil costs today, even with the downward trend, about $48 at the last count, $48 times 400,000 barrels every day. That's millions of dollars going to some private pockets. Now, a barrel of oil, I want to bring this home vividly, a barrel of oil is not something you put in your pocket. Now, for a badge, there are 14 badges that will fill a tanker. And you can multiply how many barrels will fill a badge and then will fill a tanker. And this gets missing every day in spite of the array of security paraphernalia that we have. That is abysmal bleeding of the nation by this administration. Not to talk of the unemployment that is compounded. Now, let's come to the most pernicious errors of this government. That is the lack of security of lives and property of Nigerians. The primus inter pares responsibility of a government is the protection of life and property. That has not happened. A part of Nigeria is almost excised, taken over by terrorists, by fundamentalists, by so-called rebels, invading rebels, under an administration. Now, coming to the issue of generals or military background and all that, it was said at one of the campaign rallies recently, when France had its own major problem, it turned to a General de Gaulle. He came in and straightened out the country. Even Britain, when Britain was on its knees, he turned to Churchill, also a war veteran. Even America turned to Eisenhower. So Nigeria is at a critical crossroad now, economically, security-wise, and politically. Even the social ethos, morals have gone out the window.
Mr.
So we
Showunmi,
need our own general to straighten out the situation.